Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Erica Bryant. The racial tensions in Gaston County hit a boiling point tonight. Earlier, armed officers dispersed a crowd outside the courthouse. On one side, we saw a video of some people wearing Black Panthers logos, some armed. On the other side, some people bearing the Confederate flags. Now, for weeks, there have been debates about the Confederate statue at the courthouse property. Shortly after that protest at the courthouse, hundreds of people gathered outside a business called Tony's Ice Cream Shop. You can see all the police lights there along East Franklin Boulevard. Well, that business is the place where a woman said that she was treated unfairly earlier this week for wearing a Black Lives Matter button. She was eventually cited. Now, our Glenn Counts has been out there all night. Glenn, you've been watching everything unfold over the past few hours.
Yeah, Erica, we are on Franklin Boulevard in front of Tony's Ice Cream Shop, and as you can see, there is a ton of police officers here that are behind me here. And I'm going to show you what they are up against, so to speak. Down at the end of the road here, about, I'm going to say about 100 yards or so. There you can see the protesters. There are certainly fewer of them than there are the police. And to be honest with you, in the past hour, even though every now and then we're hearing a chant or two, they've been pretty quiet. Not what we expect from the protesters that we typically see. Now, earlier this afternoon, as you mentioned, Erica, there was a ton of protesters at the Gaston County Courthouse. That was a pretty tense situation in and of itself. You had supporters of Black Lives Matter. You also had the new Black Panther Party over there. And from what we understand, police did make a few arrests there. Now, what sparked all of this was a young lady who went into Tony's Ice Cream, and she claimed that she had been disrespected because she was wearing a Black Lives Matter button. So all afternoon and evening, you've had demonstrators going back and forth between the courthouse and the ice cream parlor. And when they came back to the ice cream parlor, you had both sides, and they were locked in a pretty kind of a tense standoff.
They came back, the Black Lives Matter and whoever it is, the Black Panthers, they came back down through here to start doing this. Now it's tense because they came back down here after we came to do our counter protest.
You have white supremacists that are attacking black women and children. We men. So if you're going to attack somebody, attack us. Quit running and attacking defenseless women and children.
Now, you can obviously hear the tension between the two sides. Now, although I did not personally witness this, I've been told by demonstrators on both sides that you had some folks on each side basically being armed with assault rifles. Fortunately, those items were not used, given the tensions that we were facing. Now, in terms of how long we are going to be out here tonight, that's kind of anybody's guess. Well, I am hearing them chanting now down at the end of the block. They're saying Black Lives Matter, some of the chants that you typically would hear. But they are walking away from the officers that are here at this particular intersection. So I don't know if they're talking to the officers. I guess they're talking to the officers that are down in this direction. So, excuse me. One of the protesters just saying they're not talking to any officers at all down there. So there were some few cars that were parked in the street. So we're hearing the chants going back and forth. As far as how long this is going to last, that's a pretty good question. The police don't show any signs that they are about to leave. Obviously, the demonstrators, it looks like they're going to stick around. So looks like we might be here for a while. Back to you guys.
All right, Glenn, thank you. Hopefully it does remain peaceful and calm out there for the most part tonight.